Hey all, Heretic here, and today we're going to be talking something a little different. Today we're not going to be trying to rank things based on power or where people feel they should be because they're going to win you a lobby. We're going to rank anomalies based on whether or not I think they're fun. And I'm curious to see where they stand up versus how you rank them. Now, obviously, we're going to differ in opinion a little bit. That's why this is going to be good fun. So when we're done, I want to hear the comments, folks. I want to see what you think. Am I crazy on some of these or am I just right? Right off the bat, we're going to start with a Faire Reward. Now, a Faire Reward is the one where you, instead of getting triples, you get Dark Moon prizes. Initially, this one was a lot of fun. There was some weird interactions we could do using Elise, but then they discovered the tier 1 trick. And because of that, basically staying on tier 1 the entire game, this one isn't super fun anymore. I mean, I used to put this one as a solid A, as interesting when there weren't a million tickets at tier 1. But now since literally the entire lobby stays at tier 1, it's hard to enjoy this one. I'm not going to say it's D tier, but it's certainly not exciting. It's a very predictable gameplay. I mean, I guess if your heroes test, it's fun. Then it's, yeah, go nuts for it. Anti-Gravity Stadium is next. And when we look at that one, that's the one where your stats are flipped in the shop on the minions. Here's the thing, folks. I have played hundreds of games of Battlegrounds. I haven't seen this one. And when I look at it, I'm not inspired either. I'm like, oh yay, Anti-Gravity Stadium. My stats are flipped. For that, you get a D. Why? You don't sound interesting. And in hundreds of games, I haven't seen it. So I also kind of feel like it's not fair for me even to rank it, because even with the sheer number of games I've played, I still haven't seen it. But that being said, I'm not interested in playing it either. Big League's next. Big League is the one where you start on tier 3 and you basically have minions from tier 3 through 6. This is an interesting and one that you can basically get to the end game really quick, but at the same time, you can take a lot of damage really fast, and people die in this one super fast. I'm not a big fan of dying super early in a game. So anytime I get an anomaly that says you're done, I don't like that, because not only are you dead, that means you're dead 7th and 8th. So I don't really love Big League. I think it's kind of boring because you die so fast sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you get to annihilate the lobby and roll really quick, but more often than not, I just don't like this one. Blood of Sargeras is the next one. I have seen this one probably the most of any of the new ones by a lot, where last night I played 10 games and 7 of them were blood. I'm kind of tired of blood. And it's not a bad one. It sets your health to 12. You get to rock and roll in the lobby, always kind of at death's door, but because of that, you're always almost dead. And I don't like games where you finish early. So blood, just not interesting to me. It just makes the game kind of toxic in that if someone high rolls even a little bit, they can kill everybody. Bring in the Buddies is our next victim. Bring in the Buddies is basically, buddies are in the tavern and they are at the tiers in the shop that you normally could get them if they were minions you could buy. This one is kind of interesting. It makes for a lot of weird boards where you have these weird conglomeration of buddies, and then everything else is just some random minions you're trying to find. It's actually kind of hard to find win conditions in these because the buddies clog up the lobby, I feel. That being said, I'm going to put this as a B. I think this is a good standard for what anomalies should kind of be. It's a little wacky, it's a little crazy, and you kind of never know what's going to happen. The only problem with it right now is the Akazamrak secret guy. That makes combat take forever and makes me want to put this one lower, but I still feel like it's more fun than that. Next up, we have Denathrius's Anima Reserve. This one is the one where everyone is Denathrius, so we get to pick a quest at tier 1, at turn 1, and then on turn 4, we also get to pick quests. I like this one in so much that, yeah, we all get quests. We all get 2 of them, so we get to actually have a little fun. Honestly, I'm going to stick this one up at A. I kind of like that. It's different from the normal modes. Nobody else does this, and it's not completely broken. Yeah, there are combinations that are bonkers, but for the most part, it's pretty fun. Now we have Double Header. Double Header is the first minion you buy every turn. You get 2 of them, basically an extra copy. Great for setting up triples, great for allowing you to tier aggressively and then grab cool minions. I kind of like this one a lot. I can't put it at S tier, but I could say it's a solid A. I really like the potential of this one. Once again, if someone super high rolls, it's painful, but it's not as bad in a way because they have to tier and then get 2 copies of a minion when they buy it. As opposed to if they triple and it gave 2 copies of that, now we're having another conversation. So it's not quite as painful because they have to get to the tier and then buy the minion. So I like this one. Echoes of Argus, your death rattles and battle cries trigger twice. I like this one in so much that if you have the right tribes for death rattles and battle cries, this is fun. And if you don't, you're kind of screwed if you can't find them. But also, this is another one in the hundreds and hundreds of games I've played, I have never seen once. I don't know how, folks. I have played a lot of games in this meta, and I have never seen Echoes of Argus. That being said, I'm at least mildly interested in this one. I think this one is kind of sits at a solid B because it kind of helps everybody in so much that you're getting double battle cries, you're getting double death rattles. Yeah, if you're playing a certain tribe, you probably don't want to play Naga in this one, right? But otherwise, it feels pretty good. I mean, I'm interested. Everything's on fire. This is the one where at the beginning of every game, you take 30 damage. And then when someone dies, you get healed for 5. It's an interesting one. I've played a lot of it. I'm not a big fan of these ones that make the game fast. But at the same time, for some reason, this one is a little more appealing to me than, say, Blood of Sargeras. I actually kind of find this fun because you choose the right heroes, you get just enough tempo, and you do it. But at the same time, it still makes the game too short for me. I want to get to the end game. I want to have the counterplay. And I just feel like this doesn't allow me to do it. I kind of want to make it a B, but at the same time, I'm never really happy to see it. And I see this one a good bit. Next up, we have False Idols. False Idols is where if you have 2 copies of a minion, you get a gold version of it and you get a gold coin instead of a triple. I like this one and I hate this one. I don't like it because if you find a win condition and you get 2 of them, you are going to destroy the lobby fast. But otherwise, it is easier to get triples at the same time. So honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. I have to say, I mean, I'm not liking a lot of these folks, and I'm curious where you're standing on this. I'm putting it at C. A lot of these aren't tons of fun for me. They're just different ways to play the game to keep it interesting, but not exciting yet. Hopefully we'll get there, right? Finicky Hourglass, start at Tavern Tier 2. Hate it. I outright hate this one. It doesn't really change anything about the game. We just skip to Tier 2. Okay, I mean, okay, that's D. That's not even remotely interesting. I do not like this one, and I keep running into it, so Next up, Fortitude of Khaz'goroth. This is the one where your right and leftmost minion, whichever one has higher health, the other one will have the same amount of health. This one is kind of just blah. It makes the games take a little longer. It gives you more time to develop a board, which I like, but at the same time, for an anomaly, it's a very low tier effect. It just doesn't seem exciting. So another C, folks. Sorry, we're not getting high up there. I'm waiting for some exciting stuff there. Grapple of the Titans. Grapple of the Titans is the first minion every turn is free. This allows you to tier aggressively to better minions and then get them. You can tier, roll once, and then grab a higher tier minion than you normally would get. Yeah, you'll probably lose some of those early fights to people who stay low, but at the same time, you're going to get quality minions faster. I actually find this one to be quite interesting. It's not insane, it's just good. I'm putting this at B. Little League. So Little League is an interesting one because normally I like my games to run really long and then you get a lot of counterplay. Well, because Little League only has a really couple builds that work, finding that counterplay can begin immediately. You're instantly thought, okay, I'm going to only go to tier 4 and I'm going to find my win conditions and I'm going to build it out. I actually like this one a lot. I think Little League is one of the more interesting ones because you could start counterplaying very early in the game. Once you realize you're this tribe on turn 4, now you start looking for the counters of what tribe beats your tribe. I kind of like Little League a lot. I know it's not super complex play, but it lets us get right into the counterplay aspect of the game, which is what I enjoy. Might of Khaz'goroth. This is the one where you are going to get the attack of your left and right most minions, or whichever one is higher, you're going to copy them. They're going to be the same. The cool thing about this one is there are a lot of interactions with attack where you buff something, it triggers something else, and you get some cool effects, and you can have aura effects with undead that can buff even more. Might of Khaz'goroth, I like it more Then Fortitude, not tons, but I'm going to put it at a B. I actually find this one more interesting because it has more potential for fun. Mimiron's Clockwork Stadium. Now, this one just came out this week. I've only played about 3 games with it, but I've played with optimal heroes and suboptimal heroes. I actually find this one to be a good bit of fun. I like it a lot. We get to sit there and we get to go, okay, I'm going to value nothing but minions and potential builds in the future by holding cards, by cycling cards. If you're a trade prince, just cycle like crazy. You're going to tier for free, and then you're going to be able to buy more minions with it. I think this one's pretty cool. I have to say, this one for me is an A. I like Clockwork Stadium a lot because it really fundamentally changes how we play the game, because all you care about now are minions and triples, synergy and counter. The whole tiering aspect of the game, you ignore and you go, okay, how can I make this win? And what can I do? What can I do to beat my opponent's things? And I don't have to worry about tiering. I don't know. Something about that just appeals to me a lot. Money Match, folks. This is probably one of my favorites. Money Match. I actually haven't had it in about a week, but when I do get it, I enjoy it a whole lot. Something about 10 gold starting on turn 1 is just a lot of fun. This is, to me, what anomalies should be. This is the S tier. This is the holy grail of them. Like, oh, I can play the game completely different. How? We're just going to give you a boatload of money to start. Nguyen's Shifting Discs. I like this a lot. I like Master Nguyen. I like the idea of the whole lobby having it. I like it because there's an element of randomness, but there's also, because it's Discover, you get to have some control. And yeah, there's some poor luck things and there's some amazing luck thing. Honestly, this is another S for me. This just makes the game super enjoyable. I like the randomness, and I like how it's hurting and helping everyone equally all the time, as opposed to just that one triple you got or your opponent got that wins the game. Next, we're going to do Oops All. And this Oops All is going to be everything except pirates. And there's a reason for that. For me, at least. You might be different, but for me, Oops All is boring. Everyone's going for the same. There's only like 2 win conditions. Some tribes only have 1, and everyone's going for that build. That being said, it is incredibly boring depending what they are. It's a Naga board. Everyone's going deep blue. There's nothing else you really can do. Do you want to go for a neutral build, go to tier 6 and make a walking for it? You're going to be dead. Don't waste your time. You're going to be scaling so far behind everybody else, it's not worth it. Oops All kind of blah. Oops All Pirates for me, folks. I haven't got to play yet, but pirates are probably one of the most detrimental tribes to be in the game for me, because anytime I see a Tethys or I see 2 Peggies, my eyes light up and I look at my board and go, should I triple? Should I pivot? Am I crazy to even be thinking this? And the answer is almost always yes. But there is something about the APM gameplay that is just satisfying and it's fun. I'm throwing cards, I'm playing cards, I'm just cycling like crazy. Oops All Pirates, especially with Hogger in there as a minion again, has phenomenal potential for me. I want to put that at S. All the other Oops All, D tier. Oops All Pirates, just for the sheer cycle potential, put that baby up at S tier. I want to play this one so badly. Overseer's Orb, I have a love-hate relationship with it. Certain heroes, certain minions, tribes, I mean, love it. Other ones, sometimes you get baited into a trap because you buy a minion for economy, then it just throws off your board lineup a little bit. So when you tier, you're not getting what you want, and then you can never quite pedal your way back into what you'd like to do in the lobby, and you get stuck doing something that's not great, but you're being given minions for it, so they synergize enough for you to take it. I kind of feel like this one is a trap more often than not. So, I mean, I'm going to put it at C. I'm sure for some people, this is an S. It's like, oh, I want to play Murlocs. Well, I'm going to buy a Murloc turn 1 and the rest of the game buy Murlocs because Murlocs. And there are times when certain heroes where that's fun and a way to go. But there's also times where I don't want to do that. Pack stands. I've only played this one a couple times. I just never seem to get it very often, but I love it. Full shop of minions, cycle like crazy. Good, solid one. I don't think this is crazy good, but I feel like this is a nice, solid B tier. Just sits there, is a fun, different way to play the game. It's not dramatically different. Everything you play the game is the same, except you have more options. Path of the Treasure Seeker. This one just came out this week. I think it's a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed Elise. I think it gives you, if you find no direction, this one can help get you direction. People are already uncovering new ways to tier and play the game with this one. I think Path of the Treasure Seeker is pretty cool. I'm putting that at A, and I definitely want to play a lot more of this. Perfected Alchemy. Everybody starts the game with a spell called Goldenizer, and just like Reno, you get to hit a minion with a one-time only, they're gold. Lots of great potential, really good power spike. Otherwise, it's a normal game though. It is, hey, play a normal game, and you know when you find that key minion, that direction minion, it's going to be great. I think this one is an easy A. I like it a lot. Once again, I haven't played a ton of games of it. Maybe I'm biased because of that, but so far, I like this one. Prudence of Amitice. This is an interesting one. This is the one where every time you save gold at the end of your turn, it carries over. And anytime you save 5 or more gold, you get extra gold. I think there's a lot of potential on how to play this one, and we are just starting to figure it out. I have played it a couple different ways, and I think I'm kind of settling on some way I like to do it. And I really like something simple like this. It says, hey, you can play the game exactly like you always do. Or you take this for a little advantage. Depends on what you want to do. I think this one's really cool. Once again, solid A. I feel like it keeps the game fundamentally the same, but at the same time allows you to do some weird, fun stuff. Secrets of Norgannon. Played a lot of this. This is tier 7 exists, and you have 10 extra armor. Do I like the 10 extra armor? Yes. Do I like the tier 7? Tier 7 minions either are super impactful or meaningless. You know, we've all played Thorin and got to discover from my tier 7 minions and looked at the 3 offered to us and went, oh shit. Well, this is going to be 6th to 8th place because none of the minions I found are good at tier 7. And yes, there are some really bad lobbies for them. So Secrets of Norgannon, because I'm not a huge fan of tier 7, it is this, you can play the game completely as normal, but at the same time, tier 7's there. I'm going to put it as a B because while we see it too much, and I feel like that's why I am inclined to not like it as much, I feel like the extra 10 armor and you can just play the game the way you always have makes it so it's not bad. It's just not, I don't know if I should put it on B or C. I kind of want to put it in between both. I want to put it on B because it's probably just because we play it too much because it's in too many lobbies. The Golden Arena. All minions are golden. And you do not get triples because they're already golden. You don't like this one? I can understand why a lot of people would, but I feel like whenever I play this one, I never find the good minions. Now, mind you, I've only got to play it, even with hundreds of games played, like 3 times, but I have not had a good experience. I don't super enjoy it. I think it's not horribly broken because everything's broken, but I also don't find it super fun. Whoops. So for that, I mean, I have to put it at C. I am just not excited about it. So put it down there. Transient Treasures. Now this one is interesting. This one is where every turn you get to pick from 2 rewards for quests and you get some interesting things. And they're supposed to be semi-balanced, but I've played games where I swear one of my rewards in almost every single turn was going to be Shutter Walks. It's like, yay, you get 2 random battle cries to trigger. It's like, I don't have any battle cries. You're like, the other one does nothing and this one does nothing. Congrats. And you look at your opponent and they're like, I get this amazing thing. And you're like, damn it. But at the same time, that aside, there are times when there are a lot of good rewards and it's just a lot of fun. Because of that, this is kind of the thing I'd like Anomalies to be. The same game we're playing, but with some weird fun twist. I have to say, solid A. Other than those games where I've been completely screwed by it, it is a lot of fun. Uncompensated Upset. So this one is, talk about the game being played completely different. Here we go, folks. In this one, minions cost 1. You start the game with 1, and it's 2 less to tier. It's super bizarre, but the fact that you sell minions and get no gold is a little too, like, I say I like different things. It is too fundamentally different from me. I like APM. I like cycling cards. And if I don't get anything for cycling cards, it's painful to me. It's just not enjoyable. For this one, for me, is, I mean, I'd love to say it's maybe if I got to play it more, I might enjoy it, but this is a D for me because I like to cycle and you just don't cycle with it. It's, oh, I hate that part. It's just painful to me. That habit of, all right, I'm gonna sell and buy 1 more. Damn it. The millionth time I did it. Not fun. Finally, we have our last one, Wisdom of Ulduar. Every 3 turns, set your rightmost minion to 15 health attack. I find this one to allow you to play the game exactly like you would. In every 3 turns, everybody gets a 15/15 buff. Is really boring. Now, I know I like the ones where you get to play the game the same, but there's something different. This should have been like the test day. All right, everyone, we're doing anomalies for 1 day. Everyone does this one. Like, this should have been the one to wean everybody into it. Just be like, because it's so baseline. It's so boring. It's like the first day should have been this one in Finicky Hourglass and said, there you go. And then throw in one crazy one to screw with people. Be like, okay, day 1, we're only gonna have 3 of them. It's gonna be Wisdom of Ulduar, Finicky Hourglass, and we're gonna go with Money Match. Like, that's the first day. And just people be like, what? It's Wisdom of Ulduar, folks, for me is D. I know I usually like the ones that are the same way we play the game, but at the same time, it's absolutely so boring. I hate when I see it. It's one of those ones I wish I could just concede and not lose points. So what do you think? Which ones did you like? Which ones were your favorite? How different am I from where you would rank them? Do you love all oops all and hate all oops all pirates? Which ones are your favorites? Let's hear it. Put them in the comments below. Tell me what you think. I'm going to post the image of this in Discord. If you want to have a discussion on there, click on the link down below. We're definitely going to have talking about this a little bit. And I just love making these videos and talking about all things Battlegrounds. Next week, I think we're going to have a big balance patch. Be on the lookout. There'll be some news videos and we're going to have some fun discussions about all the new crazy changes. Thanks for hanging out all. I'll catch you in the Battlegrounds. Later.